started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
This is Mark Snethkamp of the Snethkamp Automotive family. We've served Michigan customers for over 100 years. We opened our first dealership in 1926. 4 generations later, Snethkamp is still the name to trust when buying your next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. Visit us during the Make This the Summer Sales event, happening now at one of our 4 locations: Highland Park, Gaylord, Midland, or Redford.
Snethkamp, Metro Detroit's original. Snethkamp, Snethkamp.
It's another JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and streaming on WJR.com, where Michigan comes to talk.
6:05, good to have you here on a Wednesday. Good morning, Lloyd. How are we?
Good morning, sir. I am well.
Things are not well in the Middle East.
Not well.
Because the hostilities have resumed. We were in a period of cooling.
Yeah, everything was kind of...
Everything seemed to be mostly copacetic.
Yeah.
Talks were happening. We're on the right path to maybe a diplomatic solution with Iran.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, we heard about these these attacks on commercial tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. In response, CENTCOM launched strikes back against the Iran military targets, like air defense systems, missile sites, assets with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the IRGC, and then the president also revoked this waiver that allowed the sale of Iranian oil. Okay. Well, things are escalating,
starting to heat up.
Then Iran retaliated. Iran is claiming responsibility for these attacks on U.S. military sites in Kuwait and Bahrain.
Yeah.
So all of this is going on while Donald Trump is in Turkey at their annual NATO summit. And Donald Trump was asked about the memorandum of understanding and where that stands now.
To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Okay.
So that is changing things certainly on the landscape. He was referencing NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who was next to him, when he said, if we make a deal, it's a deal.
It's a deal.
It's a deal's a deal. And when I make a deal with him, it's a deal.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Rutte was also asked about this. In particular, the U.S. response to those attacks on those shipping containers or on the carriers in the Strait of Hormuz. And here's what he had to say.
Well, I think it was absolutely necessary because when you have a ceasefire and Iran is basically violating the ceasefire, we've seen what happened yesterday with ships being attacked. I think it is totally crucial that the U.S. forcefully reacts.
Got to do what you got to do. And it's just, it was, to me, I thought it was already, I know we had the ceasefire and we had this deal, 60 days, negotiations. But I just always thought you can't trust Iran. You just can't trust them.
No, you can't trust them. And that's, been clear for a very long time.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you don't go down the path of trying to find that diplomatic solution.
Absolutely. You try. You do it because we're the United States. That's what we do. We do it. But, sometimes, as Mom used to say, hard head makes a soft behind.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Hey.
And as a result, we're starting to see oil prices tick up slightly. Brent crude's up to $76 this morning. It was below 70 yesterday. It was like 65 yesterday.
65 yesterday, yeah.
So that is also in play here as well as we continue to watch. But this is going to escalate.
Oh, definitely.
That's my reading on it, is that this is, if the president is saying, and by the way, I should mention, he did say also that he is going to allow U.S. negotiators to continue to talk to Iran through mediators and through intermediaries, and they can continue to go that route. But from his perspective, this thing is done.
A 5-year-old boy is recovering after being struck by a stray bullet last night around 8:50 p.m. He was riding his bicycle outside his home on Detroit's west side near Fargo Oakfield Park, where a teenager, police say, fired several reckless shots into the area. Here's Detroit Police Chief Todd Bettison.
5-year-old was out in front of his house riding his bicycle. His father was supervising, and the father heard approximately 3 gunshots, and his child fell from his bicycle. Just to parents and everyone, know where your kids are. Juveniles should not have guns, and whether you're an adult or a child, you should not be firing a weapon inside of the city limits, because what goes up comes down. We talk about it all the time, and we're definitely going to hold the individual accountable.
Now, the boy suffered a through-and-through wound to his arm. He's expected to fully recover. Todd Bettison, the chief, stated that the child was not targeted and that investigators are actively seeking a person of interest described as a 15 to 16-year-old who frequents the area. Mayor Mary Sheffield called the incident a senseless act of violence, emphasizing that every child deserves to feel safe in their neighborhood.
Just indiscriminately firing shots?
Just be in the park and I'll just shoot a gun and, we'll see what happens. Also, this outbreak that we're dealing with, cyclosporiasis, Michigan health officials say the state cyclosporiasis outbreak continues to grow. More than 700 confirmed cases of the parasitic illness. Monroe County has the highest number of infections with 173 cases, followed by Washtenaw and Lenawee counties. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services says no specific food source has been identified, although past outbreaks have been linked to contaminated fresh produce. Symptoms usually appear 2 to 14 days after exposure and include frequent watery diarrhea, stomach cramps, bloating, nausea, and low-grade fever. Health officials say anyone experiencing sudden ongoing diarrhea should contact their healthcare provider or local health department. The illness can be treated with antibiotics, and officials say it does not spread from person to person. But we're going to be talking more about that later on. This hour.
And those numbers just continue to tick up and up and up.
Yeah, and usually, 50 is the norm in Michigan a year, 50 cases.
Yeah.
And we have 700 now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Pistons have traded Karis LeVert away. This was part of a 6-team deal. Chris Middleton goes back to Washington. He's the headline maker here. But Karis LeVert gone as a Piston, no longer will be playing at Little Caesars Arena. And the Pistons able to sign a couple of players. One, certainly we'll know here, but Taurean Prince, one of their power forwards now, fine signing. Okay. But really what this is doing is making cap space.
That's it.
The other portion of this trade is Gary Harris, former Spartan. Gary Harris is back here in the state of Michigan, played for Milwaukee last, and I think he was drafted by the Nuggets, if I'm not mistaken.
Denver, okay.
After he left Michigan State. But Gary Harris is now a Piston as well. So what kind of impact they'll have, I don't know. But it is a way to make room for something. What that is, we don't know yet.
Oh.
But here's what I'll throw out here.
Okay.
For you tinfoil hatters.
Okay. What do you think?
There have been a number of stories about Kevin Durant.
Oh.
Potentially with these cryptic social media posts signaling that maybe Detroit would be a destination for him. He's good buds with Cade.
Yes, he is. That is a fact.
So would you like KD here? Not, I don't know. But
oops, I'm sorry. Did I hit that button? So many buttons back here.
I mean, at least he's not 1,000 years old like LeBron.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
he's
probably
like
not far
900
off.
then.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's long in the tooth.
I think this team would be better off with more of a team chemistry than just bringing in one big superstar like that. I don't know. I'm not a fan. No thanks.
Okay.
And that's why you're not Trajan Langdon.
That's why I do this.
Yeah,
that's right. You're very good at that, too.
Also, Tigers win in their first game with this athletic series 6-2 yesterday down at Comerica Park. Tarek Skubal, he's getting it done. He's getting it done.
Yes.
There it is. There, can you play the winning streak? I was hoping.
That's called a winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
3 in a row.
You know, I hope this isn't our last few starts. We're going to see a Tarek Skubal because I just love him so much. You know, I do. I just love watching him pitch. And I don't want to see him pitch for like the Red Sox or Yankees.
Oh, great, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
What a bromance that is over there.
I know. You can feel the heat coming through the glass.
Can't you?
Coming up on the other side, we're talking socialism in America. It's JR Morning.
It's Ryan Armani. Are you in pain right now? I'm talking about the severe and chronic kind that stops you from enjoying your life. I've been there too, and that's why I want to tell you about the amazing pain elimination treatment I use only at the Nerve and Disc Laser Institute. It's FDA cleared and 100% safe. The highest dose, highest intensity lasers in Michigan. The best part, there's no injections, pain meds, downtime, side effects, or surgery. Great for people suffering from arthritis, sciatica, neuropathy, or other ailments. Laser treatments get rid of the pain, they reduce inflammation, and regenerate tissues by targeting the root cause of the pain. It's located in Farmington and Clinton Township. You can call 248-326-2030. That's 248-326-2030. Mention my name this month, and you're going to get 50% off your treatment plan. The Nerve and Disc Laser Institute. Call now.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
No accidents on the roadways right now. Northbound 75 between Sibley and Eureka. 2 right lanes are closed until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Eastbound 8 Mile between Van Dyke and Hoover. That right lane remains closed till tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Telegraph northbound between Eureka and Goddard. 2 left lanes closed till tomorrow there as well. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by North Bloomfield Properties. North Bloomfield Properties is a trusted source for rental property management for over 3 decades. They handle the advertising, cleaning, and repairing of your rental. Let the experts at North Bloomfield Properties manage your investment property. You can enjoy your weekends again. Visit northbloomfield.com. Here's your forecast.
No real big changes today. We'll get up close to 90 degrees, so a little bit warmer than yesterday's 86. The change will come tomorrow with precipitation on the way in the afternoon and evening hours. Now, Storm Prediction Center does outlook us as a marginal risk for a severe storm, so maybe some gusty winds and hail. I don't think it's a zero tornado risk, but that risk is very low. So maybe a little fog early, otherwise clear. Sun this afternoon, 90 tonight, 70, 60 suburbs. Tomorrow, thickening clouds. Mid to late afternoon, a few showers, some rumbles of thunder, 90 degrees, and likely showers and thunderstorms into at least a part of tomorrow night. Friday, partly sunny with just a few showers. A little cooler, 85. On the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
I'm Kevin Dietz. Coming up on All Talk, Michigan lawmakers have finally approved a nearly $20 billion K-12 school budget, but is it really a win for students, teachers, and parents? And President Donald Trump is in Turkey for a high-profile NATO summit. He wants allies to spend more on defense. All Talk is 9 to noon. You can stream us anytime at WJR.com.
So we've seen it in places like Maine, and whether or not Graham Planter is going to continue forward, he's hitting a real bump in that
He's
campaign.
hitting the wall, yeah.
I mean, you've got the Bernie Sanders of the world pushing him to drop out of that race. But we are seeing more socialist candidates across the country, whether that's in Denver, whether that's in New York, and they're winning these primaries against what I guess some are calling like the Democrat establishment. Like those that are, and even here in Michigan, right, with Abdul Al-Sayed,
yes,
against now just Haley Stevens. And by the way, they had a debate last night. We'll get to it. But there does seem to be some sort of movement in that direction. Why? What's causing it? Because it is becoming a much more prevalent thought. And here in the city of Detroit, we do have a member of the city council that identifies as a Democratic socialist. And it's Denzel McCampbell who joins us this morning to talk about it. Denzel, good morning. It's good to have you back.
Good morning. Great to be on. Thank you all.
I think the last time I talked with you, you were working with Rashida. So it's been years. So it's nice to talk with you again. I'm curious to know what you think, what you're seeing across the country that's leading to more of these candidates having more success, at least in these primaries.
For sure. I will even go back to my race last year. And, my opponents tried to use me being a Democrat socialist as an attack. But, as I knocked thousands of doors, what we saw and heard from folks again and again was this thought that folks are tired of what has been seen as this catering to corporations and the wealthy in exchange for the needs of working families. And when we think about democratic socialism, folks will use it, a lot of folks have used it as an attack. But the basis for me is that we are answering the needs and pushing for policies that answer the needs of people, the control of our government for everyday folks and not corporation, the influence of wealthy folks and corporations. That's why you see it's so prevalent and popular for candidates to not take corporate PAC dollars. As you see folks that are pushing for Medicare for All. Medicare for All has consistently polled with high support. We have roads, we have the snow patrol, we have snow plows, we have fire departments. Those are all aspects of socialized policies, Medicare as well as Social Security. And what we're pushing for is to ensure that, whether it's public education, our health care, our everyday basic needs are about the collective and coming together to answer that as a people and as a government.
Councilman, when people hear the term democratic socialist, many immediately think of communism. Are those two things the same, or is that just a misunderstanding?
I think it is a misunderstanding. There are distinctly different philosophies and views on how society should be set up. And we have democratic socialist countries. We also, as I mentioned, there are policies that we have here in the United States that are on that basis. When we look at Medicare and Social Security, what we came together to say is that we should pool our resources together and ensure that our seniors have health care, to ensure that folks have something as they age in life to ensure that their basic needs are met. So when we think about Medicare for All, we're saying that, okay, right now, healthcare is unaffordable for a vast amount of people. And if you do have healthcare, is inadequate. So how do we answer that need for our folks to ensure that they have healthy lives? When we think about, again, on the aspect of having that influence of people, we see that there is millions and millions of dollars that are flooding our airways of corporate interests telling folks how to vote and how they should see our elected officials and folks running instead of, people being able to make their own decision in that interaction. So I look at it as a system that really upends this influence that is not in line with people, what the people needs, and really centers our government of for and by of other people.
We've seen kind of Marxist countries, Soviet Union being one, China being one, where they were largely agrarian, they were impoverished, and the transformation to a socialist platform, it did make them an economic powerhouse. There was a large effort to turn them into a military might, but at the same time, there was cost, there was famine, there was widespread suppression as well. Not to say that that would happen here in the United States, but that's the historical perspective. And then you have like Sweden and Norway; those are obviously cited often among socialist countries where there has been success, but they have strong capitalist tendencies too. So how would you see that working here in the United States?
I think we have the vision and the opportunity to forge our own pathway. Well, I'll say what we have now is that, and this is what I look at, is that we have in the United States a trillionaire now, and we have so much wealth that is concentrated at the top, and yet we still have folks who are unhoused. We still have folks who are having to work multiple jobs just to put food on the table. We still have folks that are even making the cost of living in our country, and I think that is what we have to focus on, is how we're not saying that folks can't be or should not be wealthy in this country, but what we're also saying is that people should not be going without. We are the richest country on the planet. How do we ensure that our folks are taken care of and have a good quality of life so that they can attain what they would like to in life and not be impoverished and be without, and also lead to a shorter life when we think of not being housed, when we think of not having health care, and when we think about this runaway wealth inequality that we have.
We got about 30 seconds left, Councilman, but another issue associated with the Democratic Socialists is defund the police, refund communities. As a Detroit City Council member, what does that actually mean to you?
When I think about, I always frame it as, what does true public safety look like here in the city of Detroit, in the state of Michigan, across the country? We have recently had a conversation around ShotSpotter here in the city of Detroit, and I look at it as, how are we investing in the preventative side, whether it's around conflict resolution. We know that when our communities are well resourced around housing, transportation, ensuring that our folks have good paying quality jobs, we see crime and violence and harm go down. So as I look at public safety, is ensuring that we also take a look at the preventative side. That was my whole thing with ShotSpotter, is that it was a response, is not preventative, and I think that's what we should be ensuring that we look at as well.
Denzel McCampbell, thank you so much for your time. Great to talk with you. We'll talk again very soon, I hope.
Absolutely. Take care.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll forge our own path is what scares me.
Yeah.
Because what does that mean?
What does that
Historically, we know what that path looks like.
Exactly.
What it looks like for us seems like it would be a little different. Get you caught up on some more headlines coming up at Share Morning.
Scrolling with Haley. I am Haley Carania. I scroll with the homies here in the live chat because there's a lot to scroll through on X, on Instagram, on TikTok.
Cutting through the clutter, one hot take at a time.
Love seeing you all in the chat before the show. I tried to jump in just a few minutes before to say hello. I love the chat interaction. Thank you for helping. But I do it to get all of the videos and all of the content that you won't find anywhere else.
Scrolling with Haley.
Just search that up and I will be there.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Hey, boomers, listen up. Jim Harper here with a word about Cruise Hearing Aid Service. If you're experiencing ringing in your ears, maybe just a muffled sound, or you think you just can't hear as well as you used to, go to Cruise Hearing Aid Service and start at the beginning. It may be as simple as waxy buildup. They can remove that painlessly for $50. And then you can get a free hearing screening test to see if you do have some hearing loss. If that's the case, Felix Cruz and his wonderful staff can use their high-tech equipment to determine what kind of hearing aid is right for you. And the good news is today's technology makes hearing aids almost invisible. Cruz Hearing Aid Service has 3 locations, Farmington Hills, Taylor, and Waterford. and at cruisehearing.com. Call them at 877-456-CRUISE and make an appointment. That's 877-456-CRUZ. Cruise Hearing Aid Service. They're good people, and they want to help you.
Make your weekend great with the Great Michigan Weekend. Jim Harper and Cam Carmen, Saturday mornings 8 to 10. Stream 760 WJR live on the WJR app or at WJR.com.
The ultimate fan experience, COSM is coming to Detroit. Go beyond the screen for live sports, movies, art, and entertainment without ever leaving your seat. When you can't be there, be at COSM.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm CJ Papa. President Trump at the NATO summit in Turkey delivers a strong message to Iran about the ceasefire.
To me, I think it's over.
And his hits at the leaders of the Islamic Republic continue.
They're liars, they're cheats, they're sick people.
Fox's Mark Meredith joins us from Turkey.
This all comes after airstrikes the U.S. launched overnight, targeting a number of different facilities across southern Iran, including command and control centers, as well as small Iranian vessels, which have basically been causing terror attacks against some of the commercial ships trying to get through the Strait of Hormuz.
Iran responds by targeting American military sites in the Gulf. Day 3 of the preliminary hearing for the alleged assassin of conservative icon Charlie Kirk. Tuesday's questioning of an investigator placed Tyler Robinson in a wooded area where the murder weapon was found. America's listening to Fox News.
Mitch Albom presents the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence. Don't miss this nationwide commemoration Wednesday 4 till 6 p.m. on WJR. With Mitch and voices across the nation standing to salute our founding document. See it live at the Henry Ford in Greenfield Village. And don't miss it wherever you are. Share the spirit of America, Michigan's signature Declaration of Independence reading with Mitch Albom. Wednesday on 760 WJR.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
Northbound 275 between Sibley and Eureka. Construction's taking up the 2 right lanes. That's in place until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Right lane is closed on eastbound 8 Mile between Van Dyke and Hoover till 3 o'clock tomorrow. Also, 2 left lanes closed on northbound Telegraph between Eureka and Goddard until tomorrow as well. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Mostly sunny today with a high of 89. Right now, it's 71. Clear skies tonight and a low of 69. Cloudy with scattered thunderstorms throughout the day tomorrow, high of 85. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-896-8155. 800-896-8155. 800-896-8155.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If your roof is leaking, missing shingles, or showing signs of age, don't wait until it turns into expensive damage. Get your roof replaced now and get $2,000 off with WeatherSeal Home Improvements, your local trusted roofing expert. At WeatherSeal Home Improvements, you work directly with the owner, getting an honest, no-hassle estimate right away. For a limited time, get $2,000 off your roof replacement. One quick call to WeatherSeal Home Improvements could save you thousands. Visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com to get an estimate today. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
Is your home ready for an exterior upgrade? New roof, siding, and gutters can completely transform the look of your home. Right now at WeatherSeal Home Improvements, they're giving you $2,000 off your roof replacement. They'll give you a durable upgrade for your home, protecting what matters most and money back in your pocket. Now that's a good deal. Trusting the experts at Weather Seal Home Improvements for your next roof replacement and schedule a free estimate today at WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Quick story. I needed new glasses. And like many of you, I thought, well, I can go online. That's easy. But then I remembered the last time I did that, it wasn't easy. They didn't look good on me and they weren't cheap. So then what? You can't take them back to the store. It's the web. Then I remembered Direct Optical Optique. Many of you got your glasses there. You looked great and had a wonderful experience. And that's what I remembered, the experience. I remembered Mariana, Frame Stylist of the Year, and how great she and her staff were at helping me find the right frame at a good price. And that's all we want, right? And they have two great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple in West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to the IKEA. Go see Mariana at Direct Optical Optique. She still knows everybody by name. 3 generations of loyal customers for a reason, because you get the attention you deserve. Direct Optical Optique in West Bloomfield and in Canton, and at OptiqueDetroit.com.
Paul W. Smith can be found on Focus from noon to 2 p.m. on 760 WJR. Now back to JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
To me, I think it's over.
That's Donald Trump's reaction to these diplomatic talks, the memorandum of understanding. He says he feels that it's over.
Yeah.
Because hostilities have now ramped up again.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. And he's going to be meeting with Zelensky today in Turkey. They're going to be meeting to see what they can do about the deal over there with Russia and Ukraine. And then he's going to speak. He's going to have a press conference, too, around 9:15 this morning over there. So we'll probably hear more about what he feels about what's going on in Iran.
And that memorandum of understanding, it wasn't a full peace deal. It wasn't a deal. It was the framework.
It's to get us to
the next level
where we can talk for 60 days.
Right. Again, whether you thought that was right or wrong, I mean, the fact that they almost capitulated to Iran on the nuclear issue, because for the United States and this administration, it's the line is no nuclear weapons.
That's it.
How many times have we heard the president say no nuclear weapons?
Yep.
No nuclear program.
Nope.
Right? Those things.
No enrichment.
No enrichment. Well, this framework didn't address that, because what Iran wanted was, well, let's stop this war and then we could talk about the nuclear issue on the other side.
Yeah.
Which we all knew meant that they were just going to kick the can down the road.
As they always do.
And that's what's happened here. So this wasn't a peace treaty. It wasn't a deal. It wasn't a way to end all of this.
No.
It was in my mind a capitulation to the Iranian regime to kick the can down the road.
And for them to get some money, because they're
everything
they were broke, basically.
Yeah, they were losing $500 million a day.
Yeah.
So there is that. But then you had the Iranian regime striking commercial tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. The United States responded. They hit air defense systems and the IRGC infrastructure and boats and missile sites and all that stuff. Then the administration had revoked a waiver that allowed some Iranian oil sales to go through. So that goes down. So you're seeing in real time the breakdown of many of the diplomatic line items that were laid out in the memorandum of understanding.
Yeah.
So the president says, okay, well, this is over. He's not fond of the Iranian regime.
They're liars. They're cheats. They're sick people. They've hurt their people. They killed 54,000 people as of now that were protesting. You know, when people say, how come they haven't taken over? They can't take over because they're dead.
So again, it does draw back into, then what are we doing? What's the objective now? Okay, well, maybe the objective before was, well, let's hit these military sites, let's cripple them militarily, and then they're gonna cower to our demands. Well,
we have crippled them, but not to the point. Yeah, but not to the point where they can't still fire back, because they're still firing.
Right, and then they were hitting Bahrain and Kuwait, and so it feels like we're kind of taking several steps back here.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me.
No.
And with the president saying the things that he is,
But he's also allowing them to continue to negotiate, right? So how does that work is what I want to know. They continue to negotiate, but he says he feels the ceasefire is over. So there could still be more attacks and more bombings on each other while these negotiations are ongoing.
Well, I remember maybe a month ago, you said, is it a ceasefire if people are still firing?
Right. I mean,
it doesn't seem like it.
Self-explanatory to me.
This doesn't feel like a ceasefire at this point.
No, absolutely not.
You've got Mark Rutte out here going, well, yeah, the United States absolutely needed to respond.
Mm-hmm.
So if Iran is violating the memorandum of understanding and the outlines of this ceasefire, and then the United States is responding and violating the outlines of the ceasefire, well, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think, where the president has landed.
Yeah.
It almost, you know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like he's almost just resigned to the fact that there's going to be more military action.
Oh, no. That's what it sounded like. That's
what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm tired.
we'll see.
I don't want to deal with them anymore.
Right.
They're crazy, whatever.
Right.
You know.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Time will tell. But it's a demoralizing couple of steps backwards.
The race for Michigan's Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate took center stage last night as the candidates, Abdul El-Sayed and Haley Stevens, faced off in their first one-on-one televised debate since State Senator Mallory McMorrow dropped out of the primary. The contest features sharp divide between El-Sayed, a progressive critic of U.S. policy toward Israel, and Stevens, a suburban Detroit congresswoman who supports continued military aid to Israel. The candidates clashed over immigration, campaign funding, and foreign policy. El-Sayed called for abolishing ICE, arguing the agency has become a militarized force, while Stevens said the system needs reform and defended her record on national security issues. Stevens highlighted her efforts to help free former Michigan resident Paul Whelan from a Russian prison, while also accusing El-Sayed of relying on Republican-style attacks. The two also sparred over Israel and outside spending in the race, with El-Sayed criticizing millions of dollars in support for Stevens from pro-Israel groups. Stevens accused El-Sayed of benefiting from Republican efforts to influence the primary. The winner of the August Democratic primary will face Republican Mike Rogers in November.
Yeah, the AIPAC issue was
big deal.
One of the big issues of the night. Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly. And I thought Haley Stevens, the way she positioned herself, like, I get the job done. You just want to go around to the media.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be the celebrity. I'm going to do the work.
I'm going to do the work. Yeah.
And that I think resonates more with Michiganders more so than
the pomp and circumstance.
Yeah.
And the bright lights. And,
yeah. And again, and this is where it's why I bring up Colorado and Maine and New York, all of these states where there are socialist candidates doing well.
Mm-hmm.
I bring that up because we are seeing that here. We are seeing somebody who has those. I mean, he's talking Medicaid for Medicare for all.
Yes,
this is what socialists are in for.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's why I bring those up, because I'm interested in the contrast of, well, Michigan is not Colorado.
No.
Michigan is not New York.
Mm-mm.
Michigan is not Maine.
Mm-mm.
So how does that play here? And I don't think it plays as well here. Again, right now, what we're seeing are these candidates trying to win voters in their own parties. Abdul El-Sayed isn't yet trying to get Republicans on his side.
No.
He's trying to win a heated primary.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to get enough votes for Democrats against a Democrat to get to Mike Rogers.
November, yes.
So he's not even, they're not there yet.
No.
But now, Haley Stevens she's an incumbent, so she can speak on that a little more.
Yes.
But it's a lot different for Abdul El-Sayed, and I just don't think that now, I could be totally wrong.
Well, listen, we have a city council person who is, a socialist.
Yeah, but you're dealing with one city.
Yeah.
And it's a big city.
It's
a big city.
It's a big city.
But you're dealing with one city. You're not dealing with an entire state of voters.
No.
So it's a little different. The scale is different.
Yeah, I think the scale is different, but out of all the cities, I didn't know if Detroit would have been the one that would put someone in, but
again, I mean, all these different neighborhoods, I mean, different neighborhoods think differently and different areas think differently.
Yeah.
So it's
Because he's in the district. I mean, the council person is the district, so he, is
correct. So that's who he's getting votes from.
Exactly. It wasn't citywide.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's why I bring up those other areas, because how is that a contrast to what we're seeing here? There is an exact example here, and I don't think that plays with Michigan voters. Now, again, I could eat crow.
Well,
I'm giving you carte blanche and our listeners carte blanche to go, Chris, you were incredibly wrong.
No, I felt that way too when what happened in New York happened in the other places. I said, no, this couldn't. I don't think it would happen here in Michigan. But I'm like you, I could be wrong. But I continue to feel like I don't think it could happen here in Michigan. But we could be wrong.
The Cyclosporiasis outbreak is worsening here in Michigan. We're going to talk about that on the other side. It's JR Morning.
The world's game at BetMGM is here. Bet on the soccer showdowns with 2 up early payout so that if you're up 2, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Place a pre-game straight match result bet on any tournament game. If at any point your team is up by 2 goals, you'll instantly win your bet. Then enjoy BetMGM same-game parlays, daily promotions, player props, and so much more for the world's game. Don't miss your shot at an early win with 2 up early payout to get paid out if at any point your team is up by 2 goals, regardless of the final outcome of the match. Make it a tournament to remember with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER for confidential help. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. Michigan only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply.
America 250. Michigan made.
In the early 1980s, pop music was polished, predictable, and safe. Then, a voice and a vision arrived that refused to follow the rules. She blended street style with high fashion, pushed boundaries on MTV, and turned controversy into an art form. Dance floors changed, music videos became essential, and image became inseparable from sound.
She could be great. She could be a major star. She is a star, George. The biggest star in the universe right now as we speak.
With 38 top 10 hits and 12 #1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100, she didn't just dominate the charts, she redefined them. Artists weren't just singers anymore. They were brands, storytellers, and provocateurs. But before the global fame, before the reinvention of pop culture itself, she was a Michigan kid, born in Bay City, raised in Rochester Hills, and dreaming bigger than the Midwest horizon. She didn't just ride the wave of the 1980s. She created it. Michigan's own Madonna.
America 250. Michigan made. From 760. WJR.
Our factories used to be filled with the people, the industry that made Michigan work. But politicians like John James, whose company outsourced Michigan jobs and made a fortune partnering with the communist Chinese government, sold Michigan out. That's why we need Mike Cox as governor. The son of working-class parents, Mike Cox will bring jobs back to Michigan and always put Michigan first. Mike Cox for governor. Paid for by Mike Cox 2026.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
One crash on the roads right now, westbound M14 after Sheldon Road. That's off to the right shoulder. Slow travel on eastbound 94 between Warren Avenue and 14th Street. Northbound 275 between Sibley and Eureka. 2 right lanes are closed there till 4 o'clock this afternoon. That is traffic slow to Huron Road. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Lombardo Apartments. Searching for a luxury 2 or 3 bedroom townhome? Welcome to Aria of Shelby. Beautiful luxury townhomes designed for comfort, convenience, and style. Visit ariaofshelby.com for more information on their specials, including up to 1 month free rent on a new lease. Here's your forecast.
Overall, should be in decent shape here this morning. Some patchy areas of fog may leave you with a little bit of a delay on the roadways. Other than that, it's mainly clear, and we're in good shape even into the afternoon. Gorgeous day. And on the warm side with sunshine close to 90. Tonight, 70 and mainly clear. Change will start rolling in later tomorrow afternoon with a few showers and thunderstorms around. 90 should do it. Showers and thunderstorms will roll into tomorrow night. Friday, partial sunshine and a few scattered showers are possible with a high near 85. Tomorrow, severe weather risk, marginal at best. So heads up, there could be some gusty winds and hail and some of the stronger storms. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law, Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Well, this parasitic gastrointestinal illness, cyclosporiasis, those numbers here in the state of Michigan that people have contracted up to 700, according to the state health agency. And I remember last week when we talked about this, the idea here, or the hypothesis, is that this was coming from produce, that people haven't been washing properly, because that's what it has been in the past.
Yes.
Yeah. And so why is it spreading the way that it is? Is this worse this time around than in years past? Let's talk about it. Dr. Tina Chopra, the professor of medicine at Wayne State University School of Medicine, joins us to talk about it. Doc, good morning. It's good to have you back.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
What is causing this to be so much worse this year? I mean, these cases are not uncommon in the past, but the numbers are skyrocketing.
Yeah, like you already pointed out, it's contaminated produce. That's what we've seen in the past. But, it's possible that it is summer. People are, consuming more fruits and vegetables, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, salads. All these different items, consumption of these items can cause it. And usually it is more in the summer months. Also, the other reason could be that we don't know exactly so far. We don't know. We haven't been able to pinpoint which produce is causing it. And as you know, the distribution can be a problem. Or some states are producing it, some are distributing it. The problem can be anywhere during agricultural sanitation is also very important, because this parasite. The only host for this parasite is humans, and it's contaminated produce, which is from water, which is contaminated with human fecal matter, and that's how it gets onto the produce and then comes to the consumers.
Dr. Chopra, how soon after someone is exposed to this parasite do symptoms usually begin? I mean, someone could have picked it up over the 4th of July weekend and not even know it yet.
You are absolutely right. It takes about a week after eating contaminated food, and sometimes even up to 2 weeks. So anywhere between 2 days to up to 2 weeks. And most people cannot even remember every salad or herb or berry or restaurant meal that they ate days earlier.
Have we been able to track this down to a specific type of food, a specific type of produce, or a specific grower?
Not so far, because fresh produce is distributed widely, and so one contaminated farm or packing facility can affect many states, but they haven't been able to pinpoint. The other reason is the parasite is very difficult to detect in food, which makes lab confirmation challenging. There is recall bias associated with when you interview 700 people, some people may not remember. And going back in time, there is a lot of bias involved. So all these challenges make it harder to figure it out.
Is this one of those illnesses, doctor, that simply just has to run its course, or is there medications that can treat it?
There are antibiotics that are available, and they are very effective. So if somebody is suffering, they are having diarrhea, they have symptoms, they must contact their healthcare provider. so they can test them for cyclosporiasis. There is a specific test that can be done, and there is a specific antibiotic called Bactrim that can be given to patients, and it's highly effective.
How does this differ from, for example, like you hear it when you go to Mexico, you shouldn't drink the water there.
The norovirus or the
Is this a similar type of bug that you would contract in maybe other tropical climates?
That's a great question. It's not very similar to those. Cyclospora is a parasite. It's a microscopic parasite, and it has a very long, as you know, other cases of foodborne illnesses or food poisoning, for example, happens right after consumption of meal, within hours. It is sometimes due to toxins, sometimes due to a virus, whereas here it takes up to a week or up to 2 weeks. The other difference is it cannot be transmitted from humans to humans. Norovirus can be transmitted from one person to another through contaminated hands and etc. But this cannot be transmitted from humans to humans. A person who is suffering from this, from cyclosporiasis, will pass the parasite in their stool, and then the parasite has to complete its life cycle in the environment before it is ready to infect somebody else through again the produce. So it has a life cycle that it must complete outside of the human body in the environment before it can infect somebody else through produce again.
We've got about a minute left, Doctor. 36 people have already been hospitalized. Who is most at risk for developing serious complications from this infection?
Yeah, usually all the vulnerable, where very young and very old, with compromised immune systems, immunocompromised patients. Those are the ones that we are seeing in the hospital getting sicker than others. So people who don't have strong immunities, our elderly patients, our immunocompromised patients, etc., are being hospitalized.
Dr. Cheena Chopra, thank you for your insight as always. We appreciate it. We'll talk again very soon, hopefully with some better medical news to talk about.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you got it. That's it, Lloyd. I made up my mind. No more fruits and vegetables.
No, come on.
Just no more. No more.
Done? You're done?
I'm done. I don't want to do it.
Well, if you buy it,
I don't
wash
want
it, and
I don't
take
want
care
the
of yourself.
Lloyd. I don't want it.
Now, going out to eat, sometimes you don't know if they're following the procedure that you're supposed to follow for the lettuce and all that. So yeah, okay, maybe going out to eat, maybe you cut back on that. But if you're doing it yourself, you know what you need to do, and you just do it.
Can't do.
You didn't want to anyway. That's the problem. You just got an excuse.
I don't want it. I don't want to get sick.
Oh, you just need an excuse so you don't have to eat your veggies.
I guess it's buddies for dinner. I don't know. That's crazy. I don't want to get sick.
Okay.
That's what I said back here. I said, if everything's bad for you, I'm just going to have pizza for the rest of my life. Every day.
That's exactly right.
Oh my God.
Jason's on it. 7 o'clock hour coming up. Get you caught up on the headlines. It's JR Morning.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog that they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Our front paws, hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey gang, Jim Harper here with a little trivia for you. Did you know that 30 years ago, the average age for hearing loss was 73? You know what it is today? It's 50. Yep, that means us boomers. But the good news is Cruz Hearing Aid Service can really make your life better. It starts with a free hearing screening test. It might just be waxy buildup, which they can remove painlessly for only $50. If you do have some hearing loss, Felix Cruz and his kind staff can help you dial in a new hearing aid that's almost unnoticeable. Their technology is state-of-the-art and their care is old school, warm, and friendly. Cruz Hearing has 3 locations, Farmington Hills, Taylor, and Waterford, and cruzhearing.com. After all those years of rock and roll, we shouldn't be surprised about hearing loss. Call Cruz Hearing Aid Service and start getting your wonderful life back. 877-456-CRUZ. That's 877-456-CRUZ. Cruz Hearing Aid Service.
WJR
Fox
Detroit.
News alert. President Trump says the ceasefire with Iran is over. I'm Chris Foster. The president of the NATO summit in Turkey says negotiations can continue, but he thinks they're a waste of time, with Iran resuming strikes on commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz.
These are evil, sick people, and we have to rid their cancer. Their cancer. And you know what you do? You got to cut out cancer early. Man, that's the way I feel.
Fox's Mark Meredith in Ankara.
Says those strikes were more than necessary after he accused Iran of launching attacks on commercial vessels simply trying to get through the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command says it attacked 80 targets throughout Iran, including command and control structures, as well as targeting Iranian forces operating in small ships near the Strait of Hormuz. Overnight, Iran launched their own counterstrikes at targets in Kuwait and Bahrain. Now the president says he believes the ceasefire with Iran is no longer in place.
Oil prices are up about 6% today. The son of a man shot and killed by an immigration and customs enforcement agent in Houston says his father came to the U.S. nearly 35 years ago working in construction and did not deserve this.
The Department of Homeland Security says ICE officers were trying to arrest Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, a Mexican national it says was in the U.S. illegally when he allegedly rammed his car into an ICE enforcement vehicle and attempted to run over an agent. The agency goes on to explain the ICE officer fired his weapon in self-defense, striking the driver, who was taken to the hospital but died from his injuries. The FBI's Houston field office is investigating. There have been at least 6 deadly shootings by federal officers since the Trump administration's immigration enforcement crackdown began. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Apple announces an expansion of its partnership with chipmaker Broadcom that'll lead, it says, to the production of more than 15 billion U.S.-made computer chips and includes an expansion of Broadcom's facility in Fort Collins, Colorado. The expansion said to be worth about $30 billion, extending it through 2031. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Your logistics business moves fast. Is your team keeping up? Express Employment Professionals connects you with qualified talent fast. Express helps you hire smarter and stay productive. Visit ExpressPros.com for an office. Express Employment Professionals, respecting people, impacting business.
Westbound M14 after Sheldon Road, a crash is off to the right shoulder. Slow travel on eastbound 94 between Warren Avenue and 14th Street. Northbound 275 between Sibley and Eureka. Construction blocking the 2 right lanes. That's in place till 4 o'clock this afternoon. Traffic slow from Huron Road. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by NECA IBEW Local 58. Count on the Powering Michigan team of IBEW 58 skilled electricians and NECA signatory contractors for your next commercial, industrial, public, or residential construction project. The best electricians, the best electrical contractors, period. Learn more at poweringmichigansfuture.com. Mostly sunny today with a high of 89. Right now, it's 72. Clear skies tonight with a low of 69. Cloudy with scattered thunderstorms throughout the day tomorrow and a high of 85. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Like many of you, I got LASIK surgery back in the 80s, and recently I started having trouble seeing, and it turns out they never told us LASIK doesn't last forever. So now what? Glasses? I haven't worn glasses in years, and I'm as vain as the next person. But then I remembered Mariana and the staff at Direct Optical Optique and how great they were at finding cool frames that look good on me, because they are frame stylists. You can't get that on the web or a big box store, and nobody has a bigger selection of designer frames than Direct Optical Optique. And Mariana still knows everybody by name. She's still selling cool glasses, 1 pair at a time with a very personal touch. So if you wear glasses now or are wearing them again, you got to go to Direct Optical Optique and let them treat you like a star. They're the only ones who can do that. 2 great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple and West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to IKEA. OptiqueDetroit.com on the web.
The world's game at BetMGM is here. Bet on the soccer showdowns with 2 up early payout so that if you're up 2, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Place a pre-game straight match result bet on any tournament game. If at any point your team is up by 2 goals, you'll instantly win your bet. Then enjoy BetMGM same-game parlays, daily promotions, player props, and so much more for the world's game. Don't miss your shot at an early win with 2-up early payout to get paid out if at any point your team is up by 2 goals, regardless of the final outcome of the match. Make it a tournament to remember with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER for confidential help. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. Michigan only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply.
For more than 35 years, MetroCars has set the standard for professional transportation across Michigan and beyond. MetroCars is proud to serve as the official transportation provider of 760 WJR. Executives and business travelers trust MetroCars for dependable airport transportation and seamless corporate travel. From early morning departures to late night arrivals, their professional chauffeurs ensure every ride is punctual, comfortable, and stress-free. Choose MetroCars. MetroCars.com.
It's not just morning, it's a JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and on the WJR app, where Michigan comes to talk.
Well, I think it was absolutely necessary because when you have a ceasefire and Iran is basically violating the ceasefire, and we've seen what happened yesterday with ships being attacked, I think it is totally crucial that the U.S. forcefully reacts.
That is NATO General Secretary Mark Rutte on the military response by the United States after Iran targeted these tankers in the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah.
And so as a result, the United States, CENTCOM announced that they had hit different military infrastructure, the IRGC, as a retaliatory strike. They called it an offensive strike, which is different from past retaliatory strikes that CENTCOM has commented on, where they've called them defensive.
Yeah.
So a bit of a different delivery for CENTCOM in their breakdown of the response.
Well, this was supposed to be, a ceasefire, and then 60 days of negotiations until we can, get something done. I mean, the bottom line that the president says no nuclear weapons, no enriched uranium. And then Iran just decides, I'm just going to shoot some tankers in the straits. I'm just going to do it. Now, we've already said we're stopping. Cease. Nope, nothing. Just going to shoot.
Why do you think they're doing it?
I don't know. I don't know if somebody just woke up one day and say, hey, let's just start shooting at the tankers.
Yeah, it feels like a blatant
exactly
violent. Like they know what the United States is going to do.
Yes.
And they're going to respond militarily. And again, here's where I think Donald Trump messed up, is because when the memorandum of understanding was signed and accepted, the president talked about not wanting the country to go into a depression.
That's right.
Because of high gas prices, the economic outlook was changing, inflation was rising, things like that. And now you kind of give the house away.
Yeah.
And that's not something you can do when you're trying to A, negotiate with a country, or B, when there are other options on the table, like further military action.
And, he's saying that he's going to allow his people to continue with the negotiations, but how do you really do that if they're still firing at each other?
Well, he says he feels like the memorandum of understanding at this point is non-existent.
To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Okay.
Pretty strong comments by the president.
I mean, you can't get any more descriptive than that. Wayne State University says it's aware of online threats allegedly made by Kyle W. Brown targeting the university and other entities. The school has released Brown's photo as law enforcement works to locate him. Wayne State says its police department is working with other agencies in search of this person, and out of an abundance of caution has increased security across campus. Now, university officials have not released details about the nature of the threats, but are urging the campus community to remain alert as the investigation continues. It's kind of vague there, but I guess they're saying, watch out for this guy. If you know where he is, let us know. But he's making some threats against the university, and just be vigilant until we get him.
Yeah. Pistons also trade Karis LeVert away, and that means that they are freeing up more cap space. They do get Gary Harris, the former Michigan State sharpshooter. He's back, and they also get a power forward, so they'll have that available as well. But this move was more about cap space.
Does that mean we're going to get a big name person in here?
I don't know. All I'll say is this: why would you be freeing up cap space?
Yeah.
If you feel like this roster is where it needs to be going into the season.
No.
I just don't buy it. There's something else happening here.
No, it's It's definitely a method to their madness.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. And again, like Kevin Durant is on social media wearing like a Detroit hat, or just like some subtle things like, why is Kevin Durant? But he and Cade Cunningham are
good
friends.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a little bit of a sweetener here. Is you get to come play with Cade. Cade, one of the best up and rising players in the league.
Yeah. And you have a team that really is on the verge of possibly winning a championship. And so, if you want to try to win another championship before you call it quits,
Yeah, it's pretty good. Tigers also win yesterday. Maybe I should turn my computer volume off. Tigers win yesterday 6-2. They beat the Athletics down at Comerica Park. Tarek Skubal, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks in that outing. Here's AJ Hinch.
He battled, they did make him work. Those were some pretty intense innings, and he came out hot. I mean, at the beginning of the game, 3 punch to start to set the tone, and he did get a lot of miss and just ran that pitch count up a little bit with some foul balls late, and he had to get into battle mode. So it was nice to see our guys, play some good defense behind him. He's the hardest critic on himself, because if he's not perfect, he beats himself up quite a bit. And to give him some grace, I mean, this guy's going out, and where 1 run is sort of deemed like, an okay outing. Like, think about that standard every time you take the mound, where no matter what you do, it's the bar is really high.
Yeah, when you win back-to-back Cy Youngs, that's the expectation, is you're going to go out there and dominate, and he largely has.
And let's hope he continues.
Yeah.
That's called a winning streak.
That's right.
Yes, it
Cole
is.
Keith
Three in
goes
a row.
yards. That's right. We'll take a break. Coming up on the other side, the U.S. death rate is at its low in 2025, or since 2025. Why is that? We'll discuss. But first, at 7:12, time for WJR's Business Beat, brought to you by Shelving.com. We rock your world. Here's Jeff Sloan, the founder and CEO of Startup Nation, a spotlight the entrepreneurial tech and startup community on WJR.
Good morning. As published in GameDeveloper.com, one thing consumers refuse to give up on or cut back on, in spite of how challenging the economy may be, is engaging in and spending on digital games. The total consumer spending on games topped $60 billion in the U.S. in 2025. That, according to a latest report by the Entertainment Software Association, ESA, as they're known. And it's important to note that these surveys were conducted by YouGov in February of this year, with 13,545 total respondents. And cutting right to the bottom line, here's a mind-blowing stat that makes clear just how well this category is doing, as shown in the 2026 Essential Facts About the U.S. Video Game Industry Report. Video games are outpacing consumer spending on movies, TV, and music content combined. Sourced via Circana, the total figure amounts to $60.7 billion. This is made up of about $52.3 billion spent on content, $5.4 billion spent on hardware, and $2.95 billion spent on accessories. The figure is almost as high as 2021, the year with the highest spending this far at $61.7 billion on our gaming addictions. There you have it, an industry healthy, to say the least. I'm Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of StartupNation.com, the source for everything you need to start and grow your own business. And that's today's Business Beat on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
Don't leave safety to chance. Shelving.com has guardrails, safety mirrors, and Unirack pallet racking paired with netting and pallet stops to keep your facility protected, plus certified safety assessments to keep you OSHA compliant.
Shelving.com, we rack your world.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-896-8155. 800-896-8155. 800-896-8155.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, it's Paul W. Let's talk about the roof on your home. A lot of you will need to replace your roof this summer, but be forewarned. There are roofing companies out there that skip over the most important part of the process, the attic ventilation. You see, if your attic doesn't have proper air circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and wood rot, leaks in the winter, not to mention higher AC bills in the summer. This is one of the reasons I recommend Victor's Home Solutions to my listeners. Their process begins with a free 21-point roof inspection that includes a thorough inspection of your attic. They know that if the ventilation isn't right, the roof will be built on a shaky foundation. Every Victor's roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan, and that's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Money-saving discounts and financing incentives are available. Call for your free 21-point roof inspection and estimate today. 866-VICTORS, 866-VICTORS, or Victors.com.
Most people never collect $1 of the money they're owed in a car accident. We're going to change that. If you were in a car accident that wasn't your fault, Michigan law says you may be owed up to $3,000. But that right doesn't last forever. One form online, we do the rest. Completely free. It's your money. We'll go get it.
Visit 3kforfree.com. Up to $3,000, zero fees. Only at Michigan Auto Law Auto Accident Attorneys. People over everything.
Hey, Chuck, Joe from Swartz Creek hired a contractor through the internet and had a terrible experience.
You know, he then found a great roofer at the InsideOutsideGuys.com who got the job done on budget, on time, with a smile.
You want quality contractors every time that you can trust? 100%. Always go to the InsideOutsideGuys.com.
Hi, everyone. This is Scott with Plumbing Techs of Michigan. Spring has sprung, and so is your to-do list. If you wanted to add that extra hose faucet in that perfect location or have been thinking about upgrading your plumbing, spring is the best time to get a jump on these. If you received a letter from your city requiring you to test your backflow device, call Plumbing Techs today at 248-548-7488. That's 248-548-7488. Where quality doesn't cost, it pays.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Pro-Life Across America.
Hi, I'm Angie. Did you know a billboard can save a baby's life? It's true. You can make a difference by helping us spread the pro-life message to reach those who are struggling with an unplanned pregnancy. Please make a gift today. Visit prolifeacrossamerica.org.
Westbound M14 after Sheldon Road, an accident's off to the right shoulder. Northbound 275 between Sibley and Eureka. 2 right lanes closed for construction till 4 o'clock this afternoon. That has traffic slow to Huron Road. Eastbound 8 Mile between Van Dyke and Hoover. Right lane is closed there till 3 o'clock tomorrow. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Lombardo Apartments. Searching for a luxury 2 or 3 bedroom townhome? Welcome to Aria of Shelby. Beautiful luxury townhomes designed for comfort, convenience, and style. Visit ariaofshelby.com for more information on their specials, including up to 1 month free rent on a new lease. Here's your forecast.
Should end up with a decent day today. This morning, some patchy fog. The advisories, though, for fog are well west of us. So just travel with a little bit of caution. If you're not in it now, you might get in it. You might not, and you'll be in good shape. Nice dry pavement right on through the afternoon. About 90, the average high is 84. Tonight, 70, the average low is 65. And tomorrow we're up near 90, but the change will come in the afternoon and evening hours with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. We are under a marginal risk of some severe weather. Friday, some lingering showers, but I think plenty of partly sunny, 85. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stage Account 760, WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Hi, it's Paul W. Smith. Wednesday, middle of the week. The new owner of Mystery Hill will join us. I'm excited. We'll have a recap, too, of the Democrat Senate debate and so much more. In Focus with me, Paul W. Smith, from noon to 2 at WJR or WJR.com.
All right, so new CDC provisional data shows that in 2025, the U.S. death rate fell to a record low. Just under 690 deaths per 100,000 people. It's a 4.6% decline from 2024. It's the lowest ever recorded in the country. Why is that? Well, let's talk about it. Arlene Geronimus is a professor of health and behavior and health equity at the School of Public Health at the University of Michigan and joins us. Professor, it's good to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So this is provisional data, which is important to mention here. And this is all great news, but why? Why are we seeing such a precipitous drop here?
Well, I'm not sure we are is the answer. And I'm sorry to douse cold water on what should be very good news. And if it holds up, it will be good news. But there's a variety of reasons to think this particular report could be being interpreted in a misleading way. The first one is they're comparing it just to 1 year. They're comparing 2 years. And we've studied mortality rates in the country over the last 40 years. And what you really have to see is not year-to-year differences, but you need to see trends. So if this continues, that would be good news, but it's not good news yet. Also, they say they use different methodologies in 2024 and 2025, but they don't give details. And so it's possible that there is no difference, or that the difference even goes in the other direction until we know what those different methodologies. We don't know if we're comparing apples to oranges. I think it's more likely we're comparing Granny Smith apples to Macintosh apples, but they're not exactly the same, so you really can't make statements. But what I would stress the most is that these are overall rates, and what we've seen in the country over the last, say, 20 years is that some Americans are experiencing increasing longevity, and others are experiencing either stagnation or even losing years of life compared to the past. So until they break this down by, metropolitan versus rural, by especially socioeconomic status, income, education, we can't be sure whether this is just another expression of some of the very big inequities we have in the country in terms of income, in terms of wealth, in terms of access to health care. We've seen, especially working class white Americans have been seeing their mortality rates go up, not down. And there's no way to see in this data whether that's still happening or not. So I think people need to, as much as it would be wonderful if this turned out to be an accurate reporting or interpretation of the statistics, I think we have to exercise caution. And the last part is, well, it will be wonderful if the U.S. does better than it's done before. It's so far behind other wealthy countries and even middle-income countries in some cases in terms of our death rate. So it's a little too early to party.
Professor, when people hear record low death rate, I think many may assume that Americans are healthier than ever. Is that the right conclusion, or is the story a little bit more complicated?
The story's definitely more complicated. There's no evidence we're healthier, or that on average or across the board healthier. Again, we have some people who have, access to all the resources they need, to all the, clean air and environmental help they need, to medical care that's, as good as any in the world, if not better. And then there are others who have barriers to all of those things and are lacking resources. And those resources also are being taken away. Some Medicaid cuts, closing of rural hospitals is a huge problem. So people in certain pockets of the country, I would be surprised to find that their longevity has increased or that their mortality rate has decreased if we could break them out from the other people. So I think this is giving us a little bit of, or maybe not even a little bit, it's hard to know whether it's a little bit or a very big misleading impression.
Well, some of the good news, though, again, in this preliminary report is that they show less suicide deaths. They show less overdose deaths. So those things where maybe something could be prevented that's outside of the physical healthcare system, that we're seeing good trends there.
Yeah, I hope that, yes. I don't want to suggest there's no good trends in this or nothing to be happy about here. But at the same time, these are provisional data, and you could turn that around a little and just say that we've lost so many people in the last, say, 5 years to COVID, or even 10 years to the opioid epidemic, that part of this may just be that there's not people left to die from.
Right, we've returned to the median.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would be very cautious, and certainly not read this as we're definitely going in the right directions or doing the right things, or it's going to keep getting better. That remains to be seen. And my guess is, knowing the major drivers in general of deaths, I mean, the cancer rates and the cardiovascular disease rates, they are still the number 1 and 2 causes of death by a very huge margin. And we're not seeing any reason to believe those would go down. People, a lot of access to healthcare has been cut, access to information, vaccines. People's lives are actually more stressful now, and that often is a precursor to cardiovascular.
That can't be true, Professor.
Yes, I'm sorry to say. I'm really, truly sorry to say.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
those things.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And the report did say that there were certainly some limitations to those findings. Hopefully we are comparing Granny Smiths to Granny Smiths, and it is going to be good news on the other side. Professor Arlene Geronimus, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. And the report did say some of those limitations, the provisional data, the timelines of death certificate submissions, race categories may have been misclassified, the methodology of the population. So there are some shortcomings.
There's some shortcomings, but we'll see. We'll just keep an eye on it.
An effort to stop bipartisan trading. Music to my ears. It's next on JR Morning.
Detroit, go all in for Tigers baseball at Comerica Park. Place your deposit today for next season, and you can score a complimentary game for the 2026 season. As a member of the 1901 Society, you'll enjoy exclusive access, unforgettable baseball experiences, and perks available only to members. See every pitch, every home run, and every big play from the best seats in the house. Don't miss your chance. Visit Tigers.com/deposits and place your deposit today.
I'm Pastor Darren Weiss, CEO of Grace Centers of Hope. One of the best ways we can make a difference in our community is by volunteering together. At Grace, we could use your help. Families, churches, schools, workplaces, everyone has something to offer to serve side by side and bring hope to those in need. Whether you prepare a meal or help us rehab a home, your time will have a lasting impact. It strengthens communities and brings people closer together. Call 855-HELP-GCH or go to gracecentersofhope.org.
There's a place where mornings begin with coffee on the world's longest front porch and evenings end with music under the stars. For 140 years, that place has been Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island. Join us in our 140th season as America celebrates 250 years for a summer of special events and new Grand American evenings each night, beginning after dinner with outdoor entertainment and patriotic celebration for all ages. Join us for a season to celebrate. Visit grandhotel.com or give us a call at 1-800-33-GRAND and mention code WJR2026 for 15% off our best available rate. Conditions apply.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen Sundays at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. Sponsored by Must Construction Careers. Learn more at mustcareers.org.
Listen in for the Cranes Detroit interview with Mike Lee every Monday morning on JR Morning. Brought to you in partnership with Mercantile Bank. Looking for a new business bank? Mercantile can help drive your business forward. Learn more at mercbank.com.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Gianna Gelosi. President Trump meeting with world leaders at the NATO summit after making a huge news overnight, revealing that he thinks the ceasefire with Iran is over.
Is the ceasefire done? Is the MOU dead?
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over.
It comes after the Pentagon launched 80 strikes against Iran Tuesday in response to Tehran's attacks on ships in the Strait of Hormuz. A chorus of calls for Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner to drop out of the race.
One of the women quoted in last month's New York Times piece about Plattner's unsettling behavior has since come forward to say he had raped her. While Plattner called the allegations false, the support he'd maintained from party allies evaporated, including from some of his biggest supporters like California Congressman Ro Khanna and independent Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders.
And that is Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reporting. America is listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Westbound M14 after Sheldon Road and accidents off to the right shoulder. Construction blocking the two right lanes on northbound 275 between Sibley and Eureka. Has traffic slow to Huron Road. That project's in place till 4 o'clock this afternoon. Right lane is closed on eastbound 8 Mile between Van Dyke and Hoover till 3 o'clock tomorrow. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Mostly sunny today with a high of 89. Right now it's 72. Clear skies tonight, low is 69. Cloudy with scattered thunderstorms throughout the day tomorrow and a high of 85. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
The ultimate fan experience, COSM is coming to Detroit. Go beyond the screen for live sports, movies, art, and entertainment without ever leaving your seat. When you can't be there, be at COSM.
What if the most powerful thing you brought to your business was your values? Great leaders don't just drive results, they drive change. Join CEOs, entrepreneurs, executives, and nonprofit leaders at the beautiful St. John's Resort for the Called Conference. Hear bold voices, build meaningful connections, create a lasting legacy. Register today at called-conference.org. The Called Conference, presented by the Pulte Family Charitable Foundation and the Catholic Initiative, where values drive leadership and purpose powers performance. Again, that's called-conference.org.
If your roof is leaking, missing shingles, or showing signs of age, don't wait until it turns into expensive damage. Get your roof replaced now and get $2,000 off with Weather Seal Home Improvements, your local trusted roofing expert. At Weather Seal Home Improvements, you work directly with the owner, getting an honest, no-hassle estimate right away. For a limited time, get $2,000 off your roof replacement. One quick call to Weather Seal Home Improvements could save you thousands. Visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com to get an estimate today. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
Is your home ready for an exterior upgrade? New roof, siding, and gutters can completely transform the look of your home. Right now at Weather Seal Home Improvements, they're giving you $2,000 off your roof replacement. They'll give you a durable upgrade for your home, protecting what matters most and money back in your pocket. Now that's a good deal. Trust the experts at Weather Seal Home Improvements for your next roof replacement and schedule a free estimate today at WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. Mitch Albom presents the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence. Don't miss this nationwide commemoration Wednesday 4 till 6 p.m. on WJR, with Mitch and voices across the nation standing to salute our founding document. See it live at the Henry Ford in Greenfield Village. And don't miss it wherever you are. Share the spirit of America, Michigan's signature Declaration of Independence reading with Mitch Albom, Wednesday on 760 WJR.
If your roof is leaking, missing shingles, or showing signs of age, don't wait until it turns into expensive damage. Get your roof replaced now and get $2,000 off with Weather Seal Home Improvements, your local trusted roofing expert. At Weather Seal Home Improvements, you work directly with the owner, getting an honest, no-hassle estimate right away. For a limited time, get $2,000 off your roof replacement. One quick call to Weather Seal Home Improvements could save you thousands. Visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com to get an estimate today. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
Is your home ready for an exterior upgrade? New roof, siding, and gutters can completely transform the look of your home. Right now at Weather Seal Home Improvements, they're giving you $2,000 off your roof replacement. They'll give you a durable upgrade for your home, protecting what matters most and money back in your pocket. Now that's a good deal. Trust the experts at Weather Seal Home Improvements for your next roof replacement and schedule a free estimate today at WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
Hi, it's Paul W. here for Metro Cars. When planning a wedding, every detail matters, including transportation. Metro Cars provides premium wedding transportation throughout Southeast Michigan, offering luxury black car service for the bride and groom, as well as group transportation options for wedding parties, family members, and guests. With a fleet that includes luxury sedans, SUVs, executive vans, minibuses, and motor coaches, Metro Cars can accommodate transportation needs for intimate ceremonies and large-scale celebrations alike. For more than 35 years, Metro Cars has been trusted for professionalism, reliability, and exceptional service. To learn more about wedding transportation packages, visit metrocars.com or call 800-456-1701. That's metrocars.com or 800-456-1701. Metro Cars, elevating your wedding day from the first pickup to the final farewell.
On your ride home, check out the Mitch Albom Show at 4 p.m. Now to get your day started, here's JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
They're liars. They're cheats. They're sick people. They've hurt their people. They killed 54,000 people as of now that were protesting. You know, when people say, how come they haven't taken over? They can't take over because they're dead.
That's the president yesterday reacting to the Iranian regime and the decision by the United States to retaliate against Iran, who were attacking ships in the Strait of Hormuz. And the president basically has said he feels like the ceasefire is over. The memorandum of understanding is over, and that he's finding that it's very difficult to negotiate with the Iranians. And that dominated much of the conversation around NATO yesterday. Let's talk about the latest with Jonathan Savage. He's in Turkey covering the NATO meetings for Fox News and, of course, for WJR. Jonathan, good morning. It's good to have you back.
Hello. Good morning. Nice to talk to you again.
Fireworks yesterday, huh?
Yeah, it's yesterday and today. It has certainly been a notable start, a notable summit. As a summit that was meant to focus on European defense spending and meeting President Trump's demand to shift the burden. But instead, it's being overshadowed by the conflict in Iran and, to an extent, by the president airing once again his long-held grievances towards European partners. But yet today, there's no doubt that President Trump caught everyone's attention when he said, as far as he's concerned, the ceasefire in Iran is over. It still technically exists. Negotiators are still in contact, but President Trump sounds like he's mentally walked away from this. He said they can talk, but I think they're wasting their time. A series of insults towards Iran's leaders, scum, sick people, liars, and cuckoo. So things don't necessarily look good for hopes of peace in Iran.
And I'm wondering also, he said that they could still negotiate, his negotiators could still negotiate, but how do you continue to do that when, they're firing at each other? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, there's an extent to which the exchange of fire is limited and contained. This is the second time this has happened recently. Iran allegedly fired at ships in the Strait of Hormuz. The United States said, that's not allowed. We are going to bomb you. We're going to strike you, your assets on the coast of the Strait of Hormuz. And then Iran fired missiles and drones at U.S. military bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. Second time this has happened. The first time it was almost a bit of a bop on the nose to say, hold on, steady on. We can come back and fight you if you keep going. This time appears to be more serious. But President Trump is leaving the door slightly open by saying that his negotiators can continue to talk.
You mentioned a bit of the grievances that is being held towards some European countries, including Spain. The president had slammed the country for not contributing enough to NATO. Certainly from the defense perspective. Also, I think still the idea that they were not allowing the United States to use their military bases as a jumping off point in this Iran conflict. And the United States imports roughly up to $21 billion a year of goods from Spain, which is machinery and pharmaceuticals and agricultural products for the most part. But he says that we should cut off all trade with Spain.
He does. Now, it's a bit more complicated than that because Spain is part of the European Union, and the European Union negotiates as a single bloc, single entity. So it's not like you can immediately cut off all trade with Spain. I think that is, he has said this before, actually, and nothing really happened. And the Spanish, they are treating this as just a continuation of the status quo. But we may see some sort of sanctions or something happening regarding Spain from the United States. We wait to see what the Treasury Department does. But he's clearly very upset with Spain. He said they're hopeless, they're bad people, and they're a terrible partner. So not quite as strong words as the ones he had for Iran, but not very friendly nonetheless.
Jonathan, President Trump says he believes Russia and Ukraine both want a deal. He's going to be meeting with President Zelensky today. What's at stake in that conversation?
Well, quite a lot for Ukraine. They want more missiles for their Patriot air defenses, the US-made Patriots. That's really important to Ukraine because Russia has stepped up its aerial assaults on the country enormously. 50 people killed, more than that in the last week. Apartment blocks being reduced to partial rubble, and this is Russia's continuation of its aerial assault at an even greater scale. So there's a call for more air defenses. President Zelensky also raised once again the idea of Ukraine joining NATO. In the past, NATO would say, your place is in our club. You will join us one day. That is very much on the back burner since President Trump came to power and essentially said that he wouldn't allow it. But Vladimir Zelensky is saying yesterday, look, we've got such great armed forces. We're so experienced at everything you need to be experienced in. Why wouldn't you let us join?
Greenland also back in the mix too.
Revive that conversation.
Yeah, no, it was right at the end of his press availability yesterday, and someone just had to ask him about Greenland. I think that it's left a lot of politicians in Europe banging their heads on the desk. This was meant to be swept aside at the Davos meeting earlier this year when NATO countries sort of agreed an action plan for ensuring Greenlandic security, stepping up Arctic security, and easing President Trump's concerns. They don't appear to have been eased. He said once again the US should control Greenland. Now, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen is here. She was asked about it, obviously. She said Greenland's not for sale. She was asked, are you ready to militarily defend Greenland? She said, we are ready to defend every inch of NATO, including our own territory.
I know the president argues that Greenland is surrounded by Russian and Chinese military activity. Is there legitimate national security concerns, though, behind those comments, even if allies disagree with, his proposed solution?
Yeah, and there's dispute over the extent to which Greenland is crawling with Russian and Chinese naval assets. This is part of NATO territory. NATO is already doing its best to control the waters there. There's certainly a legitimate reason why the United States should have an interest in Greenland, why should have an interest in Greenlandic security. It is the shortest way, really, from Russia to many parts of the United States. And it's certainly somewhere where Russia and China would love to have economic and military superiority. But what NATO's challenge is to convince President Trump that this can all happen with the status quo, with Greenland remaining part of Denmark and NATO having a significant presence there.
Jonathan Savage, appreciate your reporting on this. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, you got it. Interesting stuff coming out of Turkey.
I'm telling you, you go for one thing and it ends up being something else,
Congresswoman Kristen McDonald-Rivet joins us on the other side. She's leading a bipartisan effort to stop insider trading amongst public officials.
You've been talking about that a long time.
I love it. We'll talk to her coming up on the other side. But first, yes, we have come over at least some of the hot spell here in Michigan, but that doesn't mean that we're through. And we like to be outside having fun, but these high temperatures should never break your budgets. That's why you need to count on Consumers Energy to help make the most of this season and stretch your budget with tips and way to save, like shifting some energy use to the morning or the evening, or raising your thermostat just a couple of degrees. Laundry, you got to do that. We'll do it in the evening or on the weekends. All these things actually help lower your bill and keep your home comfortable. So discover those ways to save and beat the heat at consumersenergy.com/summer.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19.
Coming up Thursday on JR Morning, AI is learning hacking skills faster than we can block it. What do we do? The latest on the Iran conflict, the DOJ sending monitors to Michigan's elections, and it's Therapy Thursday. Let me do that again. Coming up Thursday on JR Morning, AI is learning hacking skills faster than we can block it. What do we do? The latest on the Iran conflict, the DOJ sending monitors to Michigan's elections, and it's Therapy Thursday right here on WJR, WJR.com, and the always free WJR app. We'll talk with you at 6 a.m.
Point!
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. And I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Catch the Michigan Opportunity, an economic development series featuring candid conversations with business leaders and innovators across Michigan. Every Saturday night at 11 p.m. on the Michigan Opportunity, you'll hear firsthand accounts on how the state is driving job growth and business investment, supporting a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem, building vibrant communities, and helping to attract and retain one of the most diverse and talented workforces. The Michigan Opportunity, Saturdays at 11 p.m., sponsored by the MEDC.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Celebrate 4th of July savings happening now at the Home Depot with select appliances starting at $398. Plus, get free delivery on appliance purchases of $398 or more, no membership required. Get a Whirlpool fridge with Easy Reach Zone to keep tall items organized and accessible. And upgrade to a washer-dryer tower with UV clean technology to reduce bacteria in the wash without fading fabrics. Shop top brand appliances now at the Home Depot. Offer valid June 17th to July 8th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Trouble sleeping lately? Upgrade to the great sleep you deserve at Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Choose from a curated selection of top brands and let their sleep experts help you narrow it down. They make sleep
easy. Southbound 275 slow this morning between 6 Mile and M14. Same with eastbound M14 between Sheldon Road and 275. Also delays on westbound 94 between 8 Mile and Van Dyke. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
No real big changes today. We'll get up close to 90 degrees, so a little bit warmer than yesterday's 86. The change will come tomorrow with precipitation on the way in the afternoon and evening hours. Now, Storm Prediction Center does outlook us as a marginal risk for a severe storm, so maybe some gusty winds and hail. I don't think it's a zero tornado risk, but that risk is very low. So maybe a little fog early, otherwise clear. Sun this afternoon, 90. Tonight, 70, 60 suburbs. Tomorrow, thickening clouds. Mid to late afternoon, a few showers, some rumbles of thunder, 90 degrees, and likely showers and thunderstorms into at least a part of tomorrow night. Friday, partly sunny with just a few showers. A little cooler, 85. On the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
So a number of members of Congress, including Michigan Congresswoman Kristen McDonald-Rivet, they are introducing the No Profiting from Public Service Act. It was just introduced at the end of June. It would ban politicians, Supreme Court justices, other federal officials from trading stocks and using prediction markets to wager on government and politics. I have been saying for quite some time,
yes,
I believe members of Congress, I believe government officials, I think you should carry clear see-through folders so we can see everything that's going on. Transparency is huge. But then the ability to put a halt to the information that they are privy to and how that impacts the way that they grow their portfolio. I love this idea. Kristen McDonald-Rivet, the congressman out of Mid-Michigan, joins us this morning to talk about it. Congresswoman, good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning.
Where did this come from? We've seen similar bills pop up before, never been a ton of support. What maybe is different about this piece of legislation?
Well, I think that most Americans agree with you. Things should be transparent. Members should not be individually trading stocks. A really obvious thing. It's unbelievable that it has not passed Congress, but I think we've got a good bipartisan group on this bill to actually get it to move. But the thing I thought was incredibly important to add is not just not trading on the stock market, but you can't trade on the prediction markets, which are, this growing thing that a lot of people don't really understand. But essentially, you can bet on anything on a prediction market, including whether tariffs come up and down, when military strikes are going to happen, who's going to win an election. All of those things, members of Congress, the executive branch, our judges have access to inside information. It's illegal for everybody else in the country. It should absolutely be illegal for the people who run to be public servants.
And some critics will argue that people shouldn't have to give up their investment portfolio simply because they chose to serve their country. What's your response?
I mean, this is public service. Keyword there, service. You can't, in the same way you can't insider trade on the stock market. You can't sit in a room where the decision is being made about whether or not to allow a company to merge, whether or not we're going to engage in a military strike, and then go in with that information and make money. We see people right now at the executive level and in Congress that will make a single bet on the prediction market that earns them more money than people in Michigan make in a year. That's just the deal. We've reached a point where people don't trust public servants anymore. They don't trust elected officials anymore. So that's going to take a long time to clean up because there's a lot of stuff to clean up. But what we can do is start with this, which is an incredibly obvious thing to do. I just feel like it's really important that we extend it to the executive, to the judicial, and honestly, on prediction markets, it should be extended to candidates as well. Federal candidates cannot go to a prediction market and make a bet on whether or not they're going to win or lose a race when they have information about inside polling information that nobody else gets to see.
Yeah.
It's just basic.
No, I completely agree. And like, I'm different. I like to watch C-SPAN because I like to watch the committee hearings that you guys are on. I understand most people aren't like that. It can be a little tedious at times. But what the information that you and others, and I'm not accusing, obviously, but the information that lawmakers get can be incredibly beneficial based on different government contracts that are going out. And all of a sudden, a stock is going to be more valuable when this deal is signed. So that information, I completely agree. I don't think lawmakers should be doing that. Is there a specific instance that you look back to and said, well, wait a second, why is this so out of whack? Why is this happening? Is there something that led you to want to get on a bill like this?
Yeah, I mean, I actually authored this bill, so it was more than, it was a much stronger thing for me to be able. I just really there's example after example after example. But let me tell you, one member of Congress that came in my class, so this is his first term in Congress, 3,000 trades, individual trades, in his first year. Listen, I don't know how he even has time to do his job, but when you're making 3,000 individual trades and you with information, what you see on C-SPAN, I'm glad you watch. You're probably one of 4 people, but I'm glad you watch. but what you don't hear is the information that we get in the private briefings. You don't see the research and privileged information that comes across our desks. When you're using that to make these trades, you're using your office for benefit, for your own personal wealth benefit. That is antithetical to everything this country stands for, and we have to stop. Now, I also think that we need to do a lot more. I think we need a enforceable code of ethics for our Supreme Court and clean that up. We need a conflict of interest policy for the executive. All of these things that most of us face in our day-to-day life that just don't apply to federal elected officials. We have to actually completely change that because we can't have people making decisions about whether or not their portfolio is going to grow when most people are worrying about whether or not they can keep the lights on.
And another interesting aspect of this bill is that it also covers spouses and dependent children. Why include the family members?
Because it prevents a workaround. You can't, as a member of Congress, if you don't do that, you can just pass on the information to your kids or your child and have them make those bets and those investments in their name, but it still enriches the family wealth. It's just too close to the principle.
Keep us updated on this, please. I think this is a really important piece of legislation, and would love to hear how this thing finishes out.
Absolutely.
Yep, you got it. That's Congresswoman Kristen McDonald-Rivet. Appreciate your time as always. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Have a great day.
You got it. You do the same.
Boy, you were waiting for this one. But we've talked about this.
Look,
I mean,
like the realities are money corrupts. And when you have information to all of it, and it's why these people that leave office, they come in, they're like, yeah, I owned a pipe fitting company. And, I had $200,000 in the bank when I got elected. Now I'm worth $40 million.
Yes,
Again,
exactly.
I ain't a mathematician, but on $175,000 a year salary, I don't quite understand.
The math ain't mathin'.
And you've been in Congress for 16 minutes. Got it. Like, that stuff is crazy to me.
It is.
But, like, people are like, oh, look at Donald Trump. And it's like, look at him. Look at all of you. Everybody's throwing stones in a glass house.
That's it.
I don't like any of it. And again, if you take that away, all of a sudden you start going back, you roll back the clock and go like, oh, yeah, people used to serve their country because they wanted to make a difference.
And not because they wanted to get rich. Quick.
Correct. Enrich themselves quickly.
Yes.
Exactly right. 8 o'clock hour coming up. Lots to do. Absentee ballots are out and about. Have we heard enough from those running for office here in the state of Michigan? That and a whole heck of a lot more. It's JR Morning.
Our factories used to be filled with the people, the industry that made Michigan work. But politicians like John James, whose company outsourced Michigan jobs and made a fortune partnering with the communist Chinese government, sold Michigan out. That's why we need Mike Cox as governor. The son of working-class parents, Mike Cox will bring jobs back to Michigan and always put Michigan first. Mike Cox for governor. Paid for by Mike Cox 2026.
Every day, unsung heroes are transforming our neighborhoods. And 760 WJR's Michigan Voices with me, Marie Osborne, is here to tell their stories. But we need your help to find them. Do you know a local nonprofit or other community organization making an impact? Help us shine a spotlight on their work. Email the details to michiganvoices@wjr.com. Let's join forces to amplify the people building a better Michigan. Michigan Voices, Sunday mornings at 5:30, only on 760 WJR.
News updates anytime at WJR.com.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen Sundays at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. Sponsored by Must Construction Careers. Learn more at mustcareers.org.
Summer is just around the corner, and it's time to make sure your air conditioner is ready to keep your home cool. Crystal here from Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, reminding you to schedule your summer service today. Our expert technicians will clean and check your air conditioning and make sure everything is running properly, so you can head into the warm weather worry-free. Don't wait for the heat to hit. For a worry-free home, visit familyheating.com to find the location near you and call to schedule your summer service today.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
This is a Fox News alert. After more back and forth attacks, President Trump says a ceasefire with Iran is over. I'm Chris Foster. Those attacks resumed after Iran struck commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Fox's Mark Meredith with the president at the NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey.
President Trump is putting Iran on notice. Attacks on tankers moving through the Strait of Hormuz will not be tolerated. Overnight, the U.S. launching 80 attacks on Iranian targets. Iran responded overnight, launching their own counterstrikes at targets in Kuwait and Bahrain. We just got a statement from the Qataris who said that they are not happy with Iran launching these attacks on their Mideast allies. And while these latest strikes appear over for now, CENTCOM says it is standing by if more action is needed.
President Trump says he also wants to cut off trade with Spain.
Spain has been unwilling to go to the 5% contribution rate of GDP for NATO defense spending that other countries wanted to agree to, and that, of course, President Trump has been demanding.
U.S. trade deals are with the European Union, not Spain directly. The Maine State Democratic Party says it's developing an open, inclusive, transparent, and fair process to replace Senate nominee Graham Plattner on the ballot, urging him to step aside, accused of raping a woman 5 years ago.
The Maine Democratic Party says Plattner's team has repeatedly reached out to them, asking what the replacement process would look like. Democrats are now scrambling to replace Plattner. One of the names being floated include former Maine Senate President Troy Jackson. He filed paperwork to open an exploratory committee. Senator Bernie Sanders had stood behind Graham Plattner despite his previous scandals. Now he's pulling his support, saying, I have spoken with Graham Plattner about the best path forward for Maine. In light of these very serious allegations, I have recommended that he step aside.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. The FBI executing a search warrant at a home in Philadelphia says remove 2 children from conditions described as squalid, unsafe, and uninhabitable, with dozens of cats inside that home, several of them dead. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
Fool, bench high rod. What are you going to do? I'm way ahead of you. I'll be on rockauto.com before you can even finish this commercial. He's right. rockauto.com. Parts when you need them.
All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto.
No crashes on the roadways, just a few slow spots. Southbound 275 between 6 Mile and M14. Eastbound M14 slow between Sheldon and 275. Same with westbound 94 between Cadgett and Van Dyke. Northbound 275 between Sibley and Eureka. You are going to find 2 right lanes closed for construction till 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Mostly sunny today, a high of 89. Right now, it's 72. Clear skies tonight with a low of 69. Cloudy with scattered thunderstorms throughout the day tomorrow, high of 85. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Get answers to your retirement planning questions by joining the president of the Brzezinski Group, Brett Brzezinski, for Inside Retirement Tuesday nights at 7. Firm offers insurance services, investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hey, it's Ryan Armani. I want to get real with you for a minute about a 4-letter word we can all relate to.
pain. If you're in severe or chronic pain right now due to arthritis, sciatica, neuropathy, or honestly, just about any other ailment, you need to check out an amazing pain elimination laser treatment at the Nerve and Disc Laser Institute, located in Farmington and Clinton Township. It's FDA cleared, totally safe, and their lasers are the highest dose, highest intensity lasers in Michigan. These laser treatments get rid of the pain. They reduce inflammation and regenerate tissue by targeting the root cause of the pain. And the best part, your pain goes away without drugs, injections, side effects, downtime, or everyone's biggest fear, surgery. So grab your phone and call 248-326-2030. That's 248-326-2030. Mention my name this month. You're going to get half off your treatment plan, 50% off your treatment plan. That's huge. The Nerve and Disc Laser Institute, 248-326-2030. Call now.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
It's another JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and streaming on WJR.com, where Michigan comes to talk.
All right, so the president at NATO seems to indicate that, at least in his mind, the ceasefire with Iran is over. And this comes after a period of relative calm. Negotiations were ongoing. There was travel flowing through the Strait of Hormuz.
Gas prices were
dropping.
Down.
The cost of a barrel of oil was dropping. And all of a sudden, Iran starts firing on commercial tankers in the Strait. U.S. CENTCOM confirmed that they launched strikes against Iran military targets, air defense systems, missile sites, IRGC facilities, and assets. And then the administration revoked a waiver to allow Iranian to sell some of their oil. So and then Iran returns and fires on Kuwait and Bahrain. And now the president says he feels like the memorandum of understanding is no more.
To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Well, one of the reasons why Iran does that is because they're trying to uphold an image in their own country.
Absolutely.
If they start talking like that, then all of a sudden you lose your grip on power. And those people that want to be out of the heel of this oppressive regime, they all of a sudden it gives them a green light, and they haven't been given that yet.
And I always wondered too, who are we? Are we talking to the right people? Are we talking to the ones who can make these things happen? Because it just seems like we talked, we had this ceasefire, and then somebody just woke up one day and said, "Oh, I'm just going to fire this, missile into the straits and hit some tankers. Just going to do it."
I don't know. It doesn't feel that way.
It doesn't.
It feels much more calculated.
Yeah. Well.
Because what Iran has shown that they can weather the storm.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Now, doesn't mean they like it.
No.
Doesn't mean they like the Strait being closed.
But their tolerance for pain is pretty high.
It was much higher than maybe we anticipated. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the president capitulated.
Because
he's the one who said, "Look, I don't want to go
here.
I don't want to go into a depression here."
That's exactly.
And again, the political ramifications are so much higher here that all of a sudden he's staring down the barrel of potentially losing the midterms, which I think at this point you're losing the House. But regardless, you're looking at all of these external factors and saying, well, we can't do this forever. And now you've gone down the diplomatic route. Now you're saying that that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So
you're dealing with a regime that never keeps its word.
Correct. So now what do you do? Mark Rutte, the General Secretary of NATO, said that the United States was certainly within their rights to respond to Iran.
Well, I think it was absolutely necessary because when you have a ceasefire and Iran is basically violating the ceasefire, we see what happened yesterday with ships being attacked. I think it is totally crucial that the U.S. forcefully reacts.
There's a lot of other things that they have to get to.
Oh, yeah.
In Turkey at this summit.
A lot of.
But this is now dominated yesterday and certainly this morning.
A 5-year-old boy recovering after being struck by a stray bullet last night about 8:50 while he was riding his bike outside of his home on Detroit's west side near Fargo Oakfield Park when a teenager, police say, fired several reckless shots into the area. Here's Detroit Police Chief Todd Bettison.
5-year-old was out in front of his house riding his bicycle. His father was supervising, and the father heard approximately 3 gunshots, and his child fell from his bicycle. Just to parents and everyone, know where your kids are. Juveniles should not have guns, and whether you're an adult or a child, you should not be firing a weapon inside of the city limits, because what goes up comes down. We talk about it all the time, and we're definitely going to hold the individual accountable.
Now, the boy suffered a through-and-through wound to his arm. He's expected to fully recover. Detroit Police Chief Todd Bettison stated that the child was not targeted and that investigators are actively seeking a person of interest described as a 15 to 16-year-old who frequents the area. Mayor Mary Sheffield called the incident a senseless act of violence, emphasizing that every child deserves to feel safe in their neighborhood. Anyone with information urged to call Crime Stoppers 1-800-SPEAK-UP. This person, 15 or 16 years old, who frequents the area, police say, just wanted to shoot a gun and started to shoot a gun in the area. And this kid, this 5-year-old, was innocent, riding his bike up and down the street in front of his house while his dad was on the porch watching him, and he gets hit by a stray bullet. So
thank God he'll be okay.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, what are we doing here? You're 15. First of all, 15, 16, you got
right.
a gun.
What are you doing out here with a gun?
And you're just shooting. Just, yeah.
Oof. Meanwhile, the cases, the confirmed cases of cyclosporiasis are up to 700 here in the state of Michigan. This gastrointestinal illness causes diarrhea, other symptoms, but now up to 700 cases. It has been climbing steadily every single day. And the health experts believe this stems from produce, fruits, vegetables, berries, lettuce, things like that. And if they're not washed properly or well enough, then all of a sudden you get this in your system. And you're in for a rough go of it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and now you can the illness can be treated with antibiotics, but you have to go to the doctor when you're feeling bad and get these antibiotics. Bactrim, I believe, is the antibiotic that you can take. But normally, on a normal year, we get about 50 of these cases, and now we're up to 700. So something's happening.
Yeah, something's happening.
Yeah,
and it's again, like, this is where they have to do the tracing. So it's okay. Where did you eat? Where do you buy your groceries? Where did the grocer get those, tomatoes from, or that lettuce from? And then you got to cycle it back. And it can take some time before they figure out maybe where the source is coming from, if there's something wrong at the facility, where it's packaged, where they grow it, whatever it is. But it does take some time. Meanwhile, the cases go.
And they say with the lettuce, they're asking, you, if you want to use lettuce, to buy a whole head of lettuce and wash it, as opposed to buying the bag lettuce.
Yes. Yes, exactly right. Karis LeVert, no longer a Piston. He gets dealt. Gary Harrison, Torrin Prince, are Detroit bound. Gary Harris played his college ball at Michigan State. So we are familiar with Gary Harris, but
yes,
the Prince signing is to me a little more exciting. It gives you a little more size to forward, those things. But this was really about cap space, and they did eliminate some cap space. What that means, and by the way, this was a part of a much bigger deal, 6-team deal.
6 teams, yeah.
But regardless, they've cleared a little space. What that means, who they going after, what they want to do, I guess time will tell.
Maybe a big name.
Maybe a big name.
Not LeBron, because LeBron left us off his list.
What a shame.
Are your feelings hurt?
They are crushed.
Something, though, I know you care about.
Yeah.
And I know you were waiting for this. Is that Detroit Lions star wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown got engaged.
Oh, good.
To his longtime girlfriend, Brooklyn Adams, in a social media post yesterday, sharing photos of the yacht proposal with the caption, "Hard Launch." And he was on one knee, surrounded by flowers, and a sign reading, "Mrs." The announcement drew congratulations from NFL stars, including Falcons receiver Drake London and Bears quarterback Caleb Williams, but not Chris Winwick. What is that?
I look very happy. Very happy for the sun god.
No, they've been
maybe he'll rent out Ford Field for a week and prepare for a wedding
and have all the
God bless. I hope the couple is very happy.
Yeah, they've been knowing each other, man, since high school. So they've been dating a long time. So
very happy for them.
Going to happen.
Very happy for them.
Yeah,
also, Tigers get a big win yesterday. They beat the Athletics down at Comerica Park. So
Scooby-Doo.
He pitched really well. I mean, he gave up a couple hits, more than I think he'd like, but regardless, he goes 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 earned run, 9 strikes, 2 walks.
2 walks.
Kind of a mundane
2
start for him,
walks. Yeah.
but he kept everybody in check. They win it 6-2, and then game 2 of that series today. That's a 6:40 first pitch. By the way, just 9 games under 500 at this point.
5 games back in the wild card, 71 to go. Stay here for more
Don't
wild card
let the Tigers get hot.
Come
That's
on.
exactly right.
Come on.
That's called a winning streak.
Do you know enough about the candidates running for office? Because absentee ballots are out. We'll talk about it next. It's JR Morning.
Hi, it's Paul W. here from Metro Cars. When planning a wedding, every detail matters, including transportation. Metro Cars provides premium wedding transportation throughout Southeast Michigan, offering luxury black car service for the bride and groom, as well as group transportation options for wedding parties, family members, and guests. With a fleet that includes luxury sedans, SUVs, executive vans, minibuses, and motor coaches, Metro Cars can accommodate transportation needs for intimate ceremonies and large-scale celebrations alike. For more than 35 years, Metro Cars has been trusted for professionalism, reliability, and exceptional service. To learn more about wedding transportation packages, visit metrocars.com or call 800-456-1701. That's metrocars.com or 800-456-1701. Metro Cars, elevating your wedding day from the first pickup to the final farewell.
Oi! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hi, it's Paul W. Smith. Summer's in full swing. You can still enjoy it fully thanks to Dr. Saul Kogan at the Nerve and Disc Institute. His non-invasive, non-surgical intradisc neutrosis treatment for spinal stenosis, bulging and herniated discs, sciatica pain, and degenerative disc disease has helped thousands feel better without drugs, shots, or surgery. One patient said, I quote, "I've suffered with severe back pain for 30 years, surgeries, implanted stimulation devices, opioids, laminectomies, injections, nothing worked.
At the Nerve and Disc Institute, my pain went away in 3 weeks. If I had to start over today, I'd try this first, and so should you. End of quote. Dr. Kogan's non-surgical Knee Restore RX treatment helps get rid of severe knee pain from osteoarthritis and meniscus tears. Mention WJR in July and get a consultation, exam, X-ray or MRI review, and laser treatment for only $49 on your first visit. The Nerve and Disc Institute, Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and Bad Axe. 586-416-DISC. 586-416-DISC.
Hey there, WJR listeners. Chris Alberta here at Principium. Listen, your bucket of money, that precious little gem that's taken you a lifetime to accumulate, has been growing. And if you're anything like all of my clients, you were worried that it might not be enough to supplement your retirement, especially if the markets have a downturn. All these incredible investment and insurance tools these days, they've been designed to address specific problems and concerns. But most folks I see every week, they have the wrong stuff. You know why? Because no one's taking the time to actually invest in them and diagnose the actual problem, the actual concern. Yeah, look, my process, it's laborious, but it's worth it. The results and the peace of mind are a byproduct of us learning together. If you're retired or nearing retirement, it's time for you to dig in with me. We can increase the reward and we can decrease the risk. It's a win-win. So stop going to steak dinners, free steak dinners offered by financial salespeople. Invest in yourself with me at my office on your timetable with zero pressure. Call me today, Chris Alberta at Principium, 1-888-800-8949.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
Ooh, Ben Tyrod, what are you going to do?
I'm way ahead of you. I'll be on RockAuto.com before you can even finish this commercial.
He's right. RockAuto.com. Parts when you need them.
All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto.
One accident slowing you down on the roads. Eastbound 94 at Telegraph. It's off to the left shoulder. Westbound 94 slow between Harper and Van Dyke. Same with southbound 275 between 6 Mile and M14. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Overall, should be in decent shape here this morning. Some patchy areas of fog may leave you with a little bit of a delay on the roadways. Other than that, it's mainly clear, and we're in good shape even into the afternoon. Gorgeous day on the warm side with sunshine close to 90 tonight, 70 and mainly clear. Change will start rolling in later tomorrow afternoon with a few showers and thunderstorms around. 90 should do it. Showers and thunderstorms will roll into tomorrow night. Friday, partial sunshine and a few scattered showers are possible with a high near 85. Tomorrow, severe weather risk, marginal at best. So heads up, there could be some gusty winds and hail and some of the stronger storms. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stitchik on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
I'm Kevin Dees. Coming up on All Talk. Michigan lawmakers have finally approved a nearly $20 billion K-12 school budget, but is it really a win for students, teachers, and parents? And President Donald Trump is in Turkey for a high-profile NATO summit. He wants allies to spend more on defense. All Talk is 9 to noon. You can stream us anytime at WJR.com.
Well, as is kind of usual in cases like this, in this part of a calendar in a midterm cycle, you get a lot of sizzle. Not quite as much steak.
Right.
And should we be getting more steak? I think everybody should. I don't think we've gotten enough, and neither does Andrea Bitely in this piece.
I think we, when it's the primary, you get the sizzle, and you don't really get the steak until November,
right?
Because everybody's trying to get past the primary.
Yeah. So it's like, are we getting? We're just getting the fluff when we need the real information.
Yeah.
What is your plan? What would you do? X, Y, and Z, and we've gotten a little bit of it, of course.
Sure,
but should those running for office
give you more?
Be a little more forthright in how they believe and how they would handle things. And that was the focus of a piece in the Detroit Free Press. It was written by Republican strategist Andrea Bitely. And yes, we've seen the attack ads. Yes, we've seen the social media posts. But how would you fare on education? Or what do you believe on the war in Iran? Or what? All of these questions need to come to light, especially now that absentee ballots are out and about. Andrea Bitely joins us this morning to talk about her piece. It's good to have you back.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So what is, again, we're in the primary portion of this. So these candidates are trying to court the voters on their side of the aisle. Does that give them, I guess, carte blanche to take it easier on some of these subjects? They're just trying to get their name out there to garner the most votes.
Yeah, absolutely. They are trying at this moment to just get onto the November ballot. But we have a few races where things are pretty well decided. You have the Republican U.S. Senate race. There's only Mike Rogers running. You have the Democrat primary for governor, where Chris wants a good, strong candidate, but Jocelyn Benson is going to be the likely nominee. So I'd like to see some of these candidates that are essentially already going to be on the November ballot really, really give us some actual, here's my plan. And not just some, one-page short piece. I mean a real concrete, this is what I'm going to do to improve education. This is what I'm going to do to improve our business climate.
You're right that campaigns spend more time attacking opponents than explaining the solutions. Is that because the negative campaigning works or because candidates just don't want to be pinned down on specifics?
Is yes an answer to both of those questions? Because that is my answer. You can fundraise a whole lot more when you are out there throwing jabs at your opponent. You can find ways to fund those negative ads a whole lot easier than you can when you're out there talking about actual public policy. But the reality is, the Wednesday after the election, someone will have won. And they are going to have to give Michiganders an answer or two pretty quickly as to, especially whomever becomes our next governor. They're going to have to set up a government this December. What does that look like? What are their priorities? We have a lot of state departments. Are they going to keep those same departments? Are they going to change them? The Michigan Economic Development Corporation has been, an economic engine theoretically for the state of Michigan for 30 plus years. Are they going to continue the MEDC? The legislature just defunded a large portion of the MEDC. Will the next governor work hard to refund it, or will they find a new avenue?
Well, again,
there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And this is where the money in the political realm matters. Because if you're in the primary cycle and you can flood the airways, you can flood television, you can flood social media with ads, well, all of a sudden you're a top of mind for people when they go and cast their primary vote. But aside from that, you talk about the education problem and the population issues here in the state of Michigan. What issue do you think these candidates should be focused on first?
I'd love for more of our candidates to talk about how they're going to improve our education system. Education is a foundational element of what government is responsible for in the state of Michigan. We have a responsibility to give kids the opportunity to succeed. We can't guarantee their success, but we have to give them the tools they need. And companies who are looking for a good location to expand are looking at education as a key component of that. Right now, half essentially of Michigan's third graders aren't reading at grade level, and it doesn't improve that much as we go up through to high school. People are really, really struggling, and we have not funded our education programs in a way that is sustainable to make sure that people can achieve big things. And we're also needing people who are not necessarily college educated, but are educated in the trades. You know how hard it is to find a plumber? You know how expensive it is? Well, if we started earlier and we started kids in high school with the opportunity to really accelerate in their apprenticeship, we would have a whole lot more plumbers and pipe fitters and welders out there in the state of Michigan.
You argue that we, started asking less of our candidates as well. How do we get to a place where debates are becoming more optional instead of expected? I mean, you got front runners skipping debates.
Yeah, absolutely. Normally at the Mackinac Policy Conference, you have a gubernatorial campaign, a gubernatorial debate between each of the leading campaigns. We didn't have that this year. You haven't seen the front runners, Jocelyn Benson and John James, out there debating their primary opponents quite as much as you've seen in years past. full disclosure, I was working for Mike Duggan on his gubernatorial campaign, and we said yes to a lot of debates that never happened. So I am really somebody who likes to see the candidates talk. Last night in Grand Rapids, the Senate Democrats debated. You had Abdul Al-Sayed and Haley Stevens, but there wasn't much stake, as I believe was started at this conversation. There was a lot of fat, though. There was a lot of bickering, a lot of pointing fingers, but we didn't really get down to policy. We'll see what happens tonight. Fox 2 is hosting the Republican gubernatorial candidates, and we'll see how deep the questions and answers go.
Andrea Biley, interesting piece in the Detroit Free Press. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you got it. Fascinating stuff. And again, the more you know, the better off you are. Frontier taking over for Spirit in some capacity. We'll talk about it next.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance, just a few